Hey everybody, let's see what collections in Python are and how we can use them. But before writing any code, let me show you something. In Python there are four types of collections: list, dictionary, set and tuples, out of which list and dictionaries are used the most. Sets are used quite well and tuples are least. Lists are the simplest type of collection. They are ordered, changeable and allows us to store duplicate values to them. Let me show you what that means. Let us create a list and name it let's say flowers and add some elements to it. Say rose, lily, jasmine and lotus. Let's print our list flowers. It has printed our list in the same order as we have created it. But let's say I wanna print only the first element of my list, or maybe the second one. So one important thing to keep in mind is that in most of the programming languages indexing starts with 0. So that means rose has index 0, for lily it's 1, and 2 for jasmine and 3 for lotus. So that means if I wanna print rose, then we have to give its index 0. So let's print it. Printed rose as expected. Similarly, if I want to print the second element, all I need to do is just replace that 0 with 1. And the same thing applies to all other elements as well. Now let's talk what mutable means. What it means that lists are mutable. Mutable simply means that I can replace any element of a list with another. Suppose I want to replace the first element of our list flowers with some other element, let's say tulip. So in other words, I want to replace rose with tulip. Now let's print the output. I can simply tell Python, hey, I want tulip to be first element of my list and I don't care about rose anymore. As we expected, rose got replaced with tulip. And the last thing we have seen about list was that list allows duplicate items to be stored. To show that, let me add another rose to this list. Okay, now print our list. So we can see on the terminal that it has printed the list, and in this we can see that there are two rows. One row is here and another one is here. Actually Python also knows that we have added rows twice in our list. To show that, let me ask Python to count rows in our list. It returned 2. Now one thing to note is that although indexing in list starts from 0, but counting starts from 1. So since there were 2 rows here, it printed 2. Apart from this, there are many other things we can do with lists. But to keep this video short, I will cover them in a separate video. So now let's see our next collection, which is dictionary. So dictionary is a type of collection in which we can store data in the form of key value pairs. These are ordered, but we cannot call their elements by index. They are changeable and we can keep duplicate values in it, but we cannot create duplicate keys. Let me show you what that means. So this time let's create a dictionary, let's say company, and in this dictionary company we will create some key value pairs. And because this is a dictionary, it should be enclosed with a curly brackets, not the round ones. Alright, now we were creating a key Google and assigning it value search engine. Similarly Facebook, social media and Microsoft software company. Now if we want to print it, I will write here print company. Let me remove this part and delete this piece of code. Let's execute our code. It has printed the key value pairs present in our dictionary. Again, Google is paired with search engine, Facebook, social media, and Microsoft software company. No big thing actually. It is just what we expected. Now let me try to print the first element of this dictionary like what we did for lists. Let's execute it. As you may have expected, it will throw out an error. It is showing that there is some problem with this part of the code. And the problem is that there is no such key 0. So what Python is doing is that it interpreting this index 0 as key. And since there is no such key, it is throwing out an error. Alright, let's move further and see how we can print a value paired with a key. Or in other words, get a value from dictionary using a key. So all you need to do is provide the key in a square bracket after the name of the dictionary. Let's execute it and it has printed search engine, which is value paired with key Google. We can now do the same with all other keys. But if you remember, I said that dictionaries in Python are ordered. So you may ask, hey, what's the point of being ordered if I can't print them by index? Let me show you that with an example. For that, we will create a loop for key comma value in company dot items. So that company dot items will give me a key value pair one at a time. And I am using print to print that key and value. See, it has printed what we expected. We can also format this using formatted print in any way we want. Maybe let's use a colon instead of comma. Let's execute it. So Google colon search engine, Facebook colon social media, Microsoft colon software company. Alright. And now the last thing I told you was that we can't store duplicate keys. We can store duplicate values, but if we try to store duplicate key, Python automatically updates its value with the new value. Suppose we create another pair with an existing key Google. This time instead of search engine, let's give it value mail service and execute it. There are two things to note here. First, the order. Second, the value. So the order will be in the sequence in which you have first created that key, and the value will be what you have added for that particular key the last time. So we saw that we cannot use duplicate keys, but can we use duplicate values? Let me show you with an example. So Facebook is a social media company. Let's add another social media company, say Twitter. Since Twitter is X now, so add a key X and give it value social media. Let's execute it. So Google search engine, Facebook social media, Microsoft software company, and X again social media. So this means that duplicate values doesn't cause any problem. Duplicate keys also doesn't cause any problem. All it does is just update the old value for a particular key. Just for fun, if I add one more key Google third time, let's say this time we will set the value file storage for the key Google. So what I am actually doing is I am updating the key Google with a new value file storage. Again, there are a lot of other things to do with dictionaries, but I will cover all of that in a separate video. Now let's look at our next collection, which is set. So if you people have studied sets in math, then yes, these are the same set. Sets are unordered immutable, and we can't store duplicate elements to a set. Python automatically deletes any duplicate element present in a set. So let's get back to VS Code to see what that means. Let me clean the terminal and delete this existing code. Now we are creating a set, let's say fruits. Since it's a set, we will use curly brackets, not the square ones. Alright, now print the set. So our code got executed. Now observe the order closely. Our original set was apple, banana, cherry. But it has printed apple, cherry, banana. It's because in sets, order doesn't matter. I'm repeating. Unlike lists, dictionaries, or tuples, sets are unordered. So that's why every time you print a set, it will get printed in a random order. Now let me try to print first element of our list. As you might have expected, it will return an error. It has thrown a type error stating set object is not subscriptable. Suppose I add apple twice. Now if I print it, look, cherry, banana, apple. Observe that apple appeared only once, whereas we have added it twice in our original set. Basically, sets automatically delete any duplicate element present in a set. Alright, let's see if we can iterate over a set. So for fruit in fruit, print fruit, where this fruit is just a variable name which will temporarily store an element from our set. I can name it anything. As expected, it printed apple, banana, cherry. So basically what that means is we can iterate over any collection regardless of whether it is ordered or not. Again, apart from this, there are many other things we can do with sets, but I will cover them in a separate video. Now let's look at our next collection, which is tuples. So the biggest feature of tuples is that they are permanent. So what that means? Can I replace any element? No. Can I delete any element? No. Can I add any element? No. Can I change the order of element? No. Once you created a tuple, no changes can be made. So tuples are ordered but not changeable. So tuples are ordered, not changeable, and we can store duplicates. So let's change our existing set into a tuple. All we need to do is replace these square brackets with round ones. Let's iterate over it. Alright, apple, banana, cherry, apple. Just as what we expected, it has printed them in a same order in which we have added them. Let's print first element of our list. Apple as expected. Second element, banana. Nice. Now let me try changing some element of this list. Let's say fruit 1 equal kiwi. Now let's see what error it throws. So this one gave an error that tuple object doesn't support item assignment. Basically what that means is we can't assign or replace any element of a tuple. Honestly, there are very limited things we can do with tuples because of its rigidity. But whatever is left, I will cover it in a future video. So if you have any doubt, about anything, just leave a comment and I will try to answer you. So that's it in this video. See you in the next one. Okay, bye.